the Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, presented by Brandon Elliott. This show will be going over all aspects of real estate investing and is intended to educate, motivate, and prepare you to take action on your first or next real estate investment. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Brandon Elliott. I'm excited today. We got Jonathan in the house, another San Diego. We're here locally. We should have been doing this in person, honestly. This is on me. This is my bad. I got our little setup here.
Across the country, bro. You know.
Yeah. So I just got back from Miami, and we were supposed to actually have this recording a few days ago. So I appreciate you jumping on with me now. You know, what's cool is you are co-founder of ADU Pals. And we're doing some ground up construction right now for some ADUs. And I was working with some other folks in the past, and they were just ended up being a nightmare. So I found you guys, and it ended up turning in from a referral. I did some due diligence with some other friends that are local in the area. And man, I would say you get around, my friend, in a good way. In a good way.
I hope so. I like that TikTok song, but I want it on the good side there.
Yeah. So for anybody out there that doesn't know who you are, where you're from, your background, and what you're up to today, do you mind just giving that 30,000 foot view for the listeners?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Brandon. I really appreciate it. My name's Jonathan Mitchell, you guys. I'm a managing member at a company called ADU Pals. Born and raised out in San Diego in East County. I was born at Grossmont Hospital. So I am a San Diego kid. I'm a traveler, been to 45 countries, father of three. You know, I try to lead, you know, from a place of faith and abundance and, you know, the good stuff, right? We get the ability to choose the good in life. I'm a Section 8 welfare kid, brought up pretty poor, but, you know, God's blessed me with the ability to learn, to grow, to share, connect with others. And thankfully, born in America, we can build business and we can grow and we can, you know, have abundance and we can get better and better if we're willing to do the work. So I love that about this country and just fortunate to be able to give back. One of the things we're striving to do here, Brandon, is build housing in the city. Because again, where I come from, you know, we had to move a lot. It's very expensive to live in the city that we live in. So we get to solve a problem, you know, supply and demand is the first rule of business. We bring more supply on, right? The price automatically comes down, and people that own real estate are like, wait, my asset's going to decrease. I'm like, no, dude, how many people do you know want to move to San Diego?
Yeah.
A lot. So we cannot build more than people want to come here. Yeah. But there are people that live here, firefighters, teachers, military that can't afford it. So we're trying to solve a problem and also make some money along the way, brother.
I love it. And, you know, some of the tiers that you guys really focus on is obviously you guys are investors first, number one, which I believe is such a key factor because you know how I'm thinking. You know exactly what's going through my mind, my concerns, my frustrations, and also the end goal as an investor. So you guys are first off as investors. You brought in the construction side just a few years ago, 3-4 years ago, and that's been amazing because, and I'm firsthand experiencing it right now because you guys are getting work done and getting it done quick with excellence. It's looking amazing, the project right now. And my only frustration is that I didn't work with you guys from the very beginning to actually do the plans. And
I got to plug that. Thanks, bro. That means a lot to me. That's a great plug. Thank you, bro.
It's one of those situations that I'm excited to work with you guys for other projects in the future and obviously buttoning this one up, but it's coming out excellent. But you guys are investors first, and then you offer this service to other investors like myself. And then you're also partnering up with other JVs out there to get more deals done. And one of the things that I love the most is that you guys are doing the service with excellence, but also with like strong timelines. Like you guys don't screw around. You're getting things done quickly. When I've worked with other companies out there and it's like, man, pins and needles taking years. And it's kind of crazy.
Couple things about that, Brandon. Thank you, bro. Look, time is the killer of deals.
Yeah.
In real estate and business. The first one to act that has the information that goes, the early adopter that got into Tesla or got into Apple, or like you have to move, right? And in real estate, we're on the clock. There's debt involved. There's equity involved. There's opportunity costs involved. We may get 2 weeks of rain that we didn't have 2 weeks ago that come up. There's unforeseens, there's tariffs, there's all this stuff, right? We got to act and we got to move. And so, yeah, like you said, being an investor, I understand that velocity, man, like the time cost of money. And so we got to move. And there's a lot of contractors or business people out there that maybe don't understand it, or, they sort of, architects are traditionally pretty slow, and they sort of can kick things down the road and tomorrow. And we're not about tomorrow, bro. We're about today, because we want to get it done, get your money out, get our clients super stoked like you are, telling your friends and family about us, your community. Hey, these guys rock. And then we're on to the next project. And we also get to grow and scale faster that way, right? And do more. And I learned that, Brandon. So a little bit of background. I started a company a while back, and I built that company, had 115 W-2 employees. My biggest payroll was 280,000 for 2 weeks. I had 60 trucks on the road, insurance, 401k, the whole thing, man. We installed thousands and thousands of solar systems. So I learned really quickly then about some things that I've implemented into this business. That business was a lot of ego. I was the younger. It was a lot of growth for growth's sake. And I learned quickly that growth for growth's sake is not always good.
Yep.
To be strategic in the way that you grow. You need to have mentorship, right? Yep. You need to have a reverse engineer a goal. You need to set a goal and reverse engineer a plan set. And you can waver, you can write it in pencil and move a little bit, but you don't want to get too far off because this thing's shiny or this thing's shiny or this thing's shiny. You want to have a community like you're building. You want to have a group. You guys can follow us. I'm Jonathan Mitchell, RE, on Instagram, and also have a podcast. We also have a meetup in San Diego called Deeds, Deals, and Drinks if you guys want to come out and meet other like-minded entrepreneurs.
That's monthly, right?
A monthly, first Wednesday of the month, we have speakers come out. I'll probably have you come on, Brandon. We just do a Q&A for about 30 minutes there. We have open bar. We have networking before and networking after. And then people get a chance to learn from experts in their field, and everyone gets to share. And I think it's better than just going and getting drunk and talking shit like a lot of, I don't know if I can cuss on this podcast, but
do you
yeah,
think?
Yeah, that are a lot of networking events out there. So we like that. It's a little bit of value add as well. But my point is that you learn through failure, you learn through doing, but when you learn, implement those lessons that you've learned. And with this, it was too much high end, too much growth for growth's sake. We're more concise here, Brandon. We've taken what we learned and we're implementing into this company the last couple of years to just try to execute with velocity and precision, like you mentioned.
I love it. Jonathan, talk to me. How the heck did you even start up with this? Because you were just mentioning that, back in the day, you built up this big company for solar as well. And you're from here in San Diego. What actually sparked real estate? How'd you get started?
So I didn't want to grow up and be a solar contractor forever, dude. There's a ceiling there. No offense. I love all my solar guys. Shout out if you're in solar or if you're in any, trade. But there's a cap there. In real estate, there's no cap. In finance, there's no cap. And so we were A license, which is a general engineering license for bridges and freeways. We were B, which is the general construction license. Then we had a C10, Brandon, and a C39, which is a roofing and electrical contracting. So I started investing in real estate on the side, but I was working 80 hours a week and I had a lot of employees, but I had a full-time GC. So I started buying real estate on the side. And then that company with COVID hit us real hard. And so we sort of winded that company down. And then when the ADU laws and the stuff that you're utilizing in San Diego came to light, I said, hey, this is a tremendous opportunity in my backyard. It's a space I love. I love developing. You have a Jesus shirt on. I love just the concept of taking something that is not great and making it great. And Jesus can see that in us, right? So, to him, he loves us, each and every one of us, but we have, struggles, but he can take that, he can work with it and make it great. It's the same thing with rehabbing property to me. Same thing with a vision. If someone can see something like you're doing with your property, hey, I can take this, I can invest into it and I can make it better. And I don't want to sound all like religious here, but that's really a part of me, my thing, Jonathan, is like, hey, look, not everyone can see it, right? Not everyone can see someone who's been struggling with this or that and can become, a pastor or preacher. Not everyone can see that beater property or that just piece of dirt and see the end result. They have a vision, they implement it, they invest into it, and then you get the outcome. So I've always loved that about real estate. And now I'm all in, brother. I got my equities in, my energy's in, my passion's in, and yeah, So
you are very much so a visionary, and you can see, and cast the vision to other people. You're also a great networker. So talk to me about building out this team, because you guys have an office, you guys have these meetups. You guys are pouring into other people frequently in the community, and you've networked with a ton of people. So what does that actually look like for building out your team and finding the gold in other people and casting that vision to them?
Great question, brother. Thank you for asking that. I believe in mentorship. I believe in giving back. Like I've stated, I didn't come from much. There's people that invested into me. I think we live in, I don't want to sound cliche, but the golden age of, the internet. I didn't have that. I'm 43. We didn't have access to that information that we do now. If you want to learn how to do something, you really don't have an excuse not to. You can go learn.
GPT. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
you can go learn whatever that is. But sometimes people need a push. Sometimes people need someone, hey, that guy's actually doing it. Maybe he looks like me. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he believes in all the same things I do. Maybe he doesn't. But whatever, he's doing that thing. So you can follow that person. You can essentially learn from that person. You can get mentorship. You can join masterminds. But sometimes, Brandon, people don't know that. People don't know what a mastermind is. People don't know what coaching is or how to find coaching. And so, to us that are on the other side, we're like, everyone should know about coaching.
Oh,
That's not the case. Some people don't, or some people have, a scarcity mindset. They're like, I'm not going to pay this guy $5,000. He's just going to take my money.
Yep.
I would say that you need the right coach.
Yep.
Not all coaches are created equal.
Yep.
So, do some due diligence, ask around, get some feedback. But when you pick one, pay the money and go. But I think networking is really important. Everyone's heard always be closing, Brandon, ABC. I have an ABR, always be recruiting. You asked the question about my team. So I'm always recruiting, always, 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 always recruiting. We have a little bit of a vision. We have an awesome industry. We have a great market. We have the wherewithal to do it. Let's put a little bit of vision together and make it a bigger vision and send it. And for that, I need people, and I need people in places that can fill spots and holes that I don't have, because I don't know it all. I don't have the entire best skill set in the world in every compartment, but I have my skill set and someone else has theirs. Our powers combined. Let's send it.
Come on. How many projects have you done over the years together with the team, and what are some of the goals that you guys are focusing on this coming year?
Yeah, so we have about 200 units in our pipe, ours and others, yours included. This year, we should bring about 100 new units online, built up, ground up construction. We're only in year 3. Again, the pipe keeps filling up. I'm turning away deals right now because it's starting to go faster than, I want it to. I want to be organic with the growth.
Yeah.
Which is a good problem to have, because when you're first starting, it's like knocking on doors, going like you guys, like there's already an ADU company, or who do you think you are? There's all this stuff that's surrounding. Oh, you're getting into real estate and, cliche. And you just got to press through that stuff, man. Like, if you know what you're about and you know what you're doing, just keep going, put out kindness and all of that. I think that's really, really important as mindset. You're not going to stop no matter what. But so about 200 units in our pipe. We have actively right now, like almost 30 projects. We got a lot of stuff going, man. We're going to break ground on 2 new projects this month, next week, which will be another 15 units on 2 sites. But if you do the math on 100 units in San Diego, that's about 40 million, right? And the cool thing about it is, again, it's not just money for us, Brandon. It's making an impact. It's building new units in our community, not just in La Jolla, but in City Heights, right? Yeah. Not just in Carlsbad, but in Logan, like where people can live and laugh and love and fight and argue and make up and make memories, man. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I love it. Talk to me for anybody out there that doesn't really know what ADUs are. Do you mind just breaking that down for them? And I know every city's different. Like just, years ago, they started making it more widely accepted and kind of promoted here in San Diego, but that's not the case for every area. But for here, it really helps out and makes sense. One of the biggest reasons why I'm attracted to ADUs is that if I already own the house, like the single family house, as a real estate investor, and there is some space to be able to build something additional, instead of doing a fix and flip or looking for that next deal, I already have the land. It's just about building each square feet, which adds up because of the spread, whatever it cost out here versus what it's worth afterwards. It's a damn good spread. So anybody out there that doesn't know, do you mind sharing a little bit?
Yeah, a couple things you mentioned. Number one, guys, we're here to help. So if it's not us, use another company. I would say invest into real estate. It's the best investment you can make, I think. And we have sort of tapped into just not only real estate, which is a long-term, investment and often a shelter for taxes. We're developing. So Brandon's investing capital into his property, right? So he's investing rather than just buying and letting it sit. So he's taking some risk, but he's getting quicker upside. Now it's not fast like crypto, right? It's going to be a 2-3 year process for him, but we have created equity in that. And he has the asset. So he's went from a certain amount of doors to now more doors. He's increased his portfolio while controlling the process. And here's the point I'm going to make there, guys. Brandon doesn't know everything about real estate, even what's happening. He's trusting us. And like I said, if it's not us, it's someone else. He didn't have a great experience, but maybe you will. I would say vet, do your due diligence if you're going to work with a company. But you don't need to know everything. There is going to be some fear. There is money going out. It's an investment. It's going to be painful. The great thing about investing, though, once you go through that pain, it becomes the most addicting pain in the history of the world. When you become an investor, you're going to be an investor for life. But you don't have to know everything. There is going to be some concerns with cash flow. There's going to be some concerns with costs. There's going to be some concerns with timelines. There's going to be some concerns with utilities and what if this and what if that. Am I going to get stuck and lose here? We're here to help you, walk you through that process. As Brandon mentioned, we are investors first. I get it. He gets it. He's going to be on the other side of this soon, and he's going to be like, bro, let's go. What was the question? I got carried away. Oh, ADUs. Okay, so ADUs stands for accessory dwelling units. Accessory dwelling units. So if you think of earrings, you got your fit, you need your earrings, or you need your watch, or you need, your dope shoes or whatever, your hat. That's your accessory, your jacket. The real estate asset is going to be the SFR, which is the house or the duplex, triplex, quad, whatever is there, even multifamily. The accessory dwelling unit, or ADU, is an addition to that. So it can be a junior ADU, which is an existing garage. Think garage, you can convert that into a livable separate unit, separate entrance. It's like an apartment building now. So it'd go from a house and a garage to 2 units. You can do an attached ADU, which would be like just sharing a common wall, but you're building out new, or detached, which is completely separate. I'm going to get to a really important point, guys. In California, in 2019, they passed a law that basically made ADUs across the state legal in every residential zone property. So R1, if you think R1, residentially zoned, that's 1 ADU and 1 junior ADU for every single residential lot in California. 40 million people in California, right? San Diego, Kevin Faulkner was the mayor at the time. He said, we like this. We're going to lean into this. So they changed the whole zoning, Brandon, of the city of San Diego. Normally there's R1, R2, R3, R4, which is traditional zoning. We have something that's completely different. We have RS17, we have RS11, we have RM11, RM25. We have a lot of different zoning than the rest of the country. And what that allows for is stacking of ADUs. They're like, we like ADUs. We're going to give you guys the ability to build more ADUs.
Yeah.
The only thing is we want transit. We want some affordability. So it's a give and take for you, the developer, and us, the developer. Hey, we're going to allow you to build more, but some of these you got to make affordable based on the AMI, the area median income for that location. So some people that maybe are underserved can live in that community. And we're going to give you the ability to build more so you can make the property pencil from a developer investment standpoint. But on the backside, we're going to give some deed restricted units that some people that maybe wouldn't be able to live there are able to live there.
I love it. So when you say affordable housing, that's just the city making, like, I wouldn't be able to rent it out for top dollar. I would have to do whatever is considered within my area, the median affordable housing, which here in San Diego, it's still it's decent,
It's incredible. And I'm pulled both ways on this because I'm an investor and I want to make as much money as I can.
Sure.
Right. But like you said, already in San Diego, it's based on AMI. If you guys want to look that up, it's called area median income. So it's basically they take the total amount of money that's being made on average in that community. And they say, based on this, you can rent to this percentage. So let's say it's $100,000. 80% AMI would be $80,000. So they would essentially take that and say, okay, we're going to allow you to, if you want to have it for 15 years as a deed restriction or 10 years as a deed restriction, if the area median income AMI is 100, you can essentially drop it down, right? And If we drop it down to 80, that's 80%. And then for that would be, let's say, moderate or affordable. And then they drop it down to very affordable. And that it gets kind of convoluted, as you can tell. It's kind of hard to explain. But the bottom line is it's deed restricted by the San Diego Housing Commission for either 10 years or 15 years for moderate, AMI, or very affordable. And essentially the market rate would be if you were renting to the people that were making 100,000. So you get some at market rate, which you can charge whatever you want, whatever the market will hold. And then some are deed restricted to be reduced to be moderate income or low income or very, very affordable.
Yeah. Now the project that you guys are helping me with right now, that's exactly what we're doing and what the city required us to do. We currently have a single family house with a detached garage that we're converting into a unit itself, the garage, and then we're building 2 units in the back. And so again, you guys have been phenomenal with the process and helping correct with the original team that ended up getting the plans together, because there was a lot of corrections that were needed. So just handling it with professionalism. Definitely recommend you guys. Talk to me about zoning for a second. There's a lot of different.
Throw one thing in, Brandon. There is a sheet that I can send to you that you can upload. It's the AMI sheet. It probably is going to explain it a little bit better than I did. It's actually kind of hard to explain verbally, but if you look at it, it'll make a lot more sense. I'll share that with you, and then your listeners and your community can take a peek. If they
love that. Yeah. We can put that in the show notes for the listeners. Cool. For zoning, talk to me about zoning switches all over the place and so forth. And you have your standard. And then when here in our city, they made it more accessible, they ended up extending a bunch of zoning requirements here. How can somebody actually look up and get their zoning and get a better understanding and education on what is possible within their neck of the woods?
Yeah, so it's a great question. I do lunch and learns with a lot of big hitters in town. But in that lunch and learn, I show you how you can go to the DSD, which is the Development Services website for San Diego. You click on zoning, and it will tell you there. It is like reading chemistry. If you're not a chemist, you have to kind of put the time in, the effort in. But once you learn it, you learn it. I would say that, there's a color map there. RS17 is basically going to be all traditional residential. And then you have the RMs, but then like all of North Park, it's a little confusing. But there are resources for it. You can go to the DSD, you can click on the zoning, and then you can just go through it. There's sustainable development areas, which allow you for more density. There's TPA, which is transit priority areas. There's, complete communities. There's mobility. There's, micro unit bonus densities. There's all kinds of like ways that the city of San Diego is incentivizing us. It is the most pro-development city in a blue state in the country, Brandon, by far.
Isn't that crazy? It's
incredible.
Crazy.
Incredible.
It is taking a while, however, if you're not dealing with the right team. From my understanding, if working with you guys from the very beginning, it can be a lot faster with the city to get permits approved.
Yeah, it does take time, brother. It does not move as fast. Sorry, I'm just going to try to turn my phone off real quick. It does not move as fast as any of us want to. I appreciate the shout out to us. I think our team, is always trying to get better. We do understand that velocity is paramount, but we press on the city, we ping the city, we have relationships at the city.
Yeah.
We shake hands and smile at the right people, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
That's really important too. Relationships, obviously, but developing real estate is not for the faint of heart. It is an investment, but again, working with the right team will help you get through the process faster.
Yeah. And again, with the city and zoning, there's different maps, there's different articles that you can read on it to bring some better understanding for your area, just working with the city. You can ask the city as well. Or like what I do, I like to lean on professionals like yourself that are doing this day in and day out and can give me the clarity of like, hey, this is the maximum you can build here. And this is what we would recommend as an investor. Those.
By the way, shout out to you, Brandon. We have mentioned multiple times you've been an awesome client. You're like, hey, send me some pictures, stay in communication, show me this thing's getting done, and then he sends the money. There are some clients that, they're out there with the microscope, and then they stretch you out for 3 or 4 weeks, and then, then the bank account, the way it works. Sometimes you have clients like that, and they're a little bit more frustrating. Brandon has been on point and makes our job a lot easier too, when we can just rock and roll.
Yeah, I believe it. I see a lot of people out there playing games like that, and that can be very frustrating, especially on your side as like you want to keep the project going quickly and get it done to move on to the next. Again, time
But
is money.
sometimes things happen, right? We get it. We're dealing
Yep.
with money and, there's cash flow cycles, et cetera, et cetera. But communication is really important. But for us, again, like you said, we're trying to get the thing built,
Yep.
right? We want to get it built for you and for us so we can move on to the next thing, get you leased up or get the thing sold, stabilized, and let's
Come on.
rock and roll onto the next project. And if the capital does get tied up or the liquidity gets tied up, it just makes our job a little bit tougher. So again, I'm just giving you a shout out.
Yeah, appreciate it. Talk to me. What other struggles have you seen, either that you guys firsthand experienced or you've seen over the years in the space for ADUs?
Well, as you mentioned, the laws of the zoning is always changing. We had some developers that I won't mention here, but took this thing all the way to the extreme. They were building some really big, like 100 unit, 120 unit on residential properties, and not everyone liked that. So some people got together and they were upset and went to the city council and they scaled back one of the programs pretty significantly. Didn't affect us at all, but there's always the not the fear, but the concern that the tides would change against us. Right now, we have a very pro development, mayor and some city council members in office, but that may not always be the case because politicians come and go. So we want to capitalize right now. We have about I would say 5 to 7 years of smooth sailing and some headwind behind us, but we need to move because this is a tremendous opportunity for us in the city of San Diego and in California to invest into ADUs. But that's always a concern. And then obviously debt, right? We can talk about more real estate specific stuff. Debt, the cost for real estate in San Diego obviously is, the entry point's pretty high. So we solve for that by just, and again, networking. We get a lot of deal flow. We know a lot of people in the space. We see a lot of deals and we're very selective on deals because you can get hurt if you buy the wrong deal. You always have to buy real estate right at the entry point. That's where you're going to make a lot of your money. Even if you're going to add value on the backside, you really, really want to create as much space at the buy, at the entry that you can, because that's just a buffer all the way through. And if you keep your buffer all the way through, Brandon, at the end, it's just pushing to the bottom line.
Come on. I love that. The best thing that I like again about ADUs here in San Diego is that when I already own the property and if I have space to build more, each square foot that we build, it's, it costs roughly 300 something dollars per square foot to build here, right? Get something brand new, something sexy, something that's going to last a long time, something that people want to fight over to actually rent out, right? In a beautiful location. The projects that you guys are helping us build, it's got rooftop decks of ocean views, bay views, fireworks at night from SeaWorld, like incredible, right? And then the best part is that it's got that delta, it's got that spread, because now it's going to be worth what, $900 square foot afterwards. Like that spread, the tax free cash out money that you can get afterwards, having no money into it, doing the burr strategy, the tax benefits and so forth. It's like, it just adds up so much that it's such a no-brainer for an investor.
And you own the asset.
Yeah.
And you've done it, Brandon. You've walked through, you invested. We call it pressing send.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that hover around return or enter. And we say when you press that button and you do it, you're in. And you've done it now. You're getting the other side. And again, you're never going back, dude.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
created something from nothing. It's addicting, brother. And yeah, so yeah, you're right. I mean, obviously we get to make money, obviously, but again, I want to go back to just walking through the fear. Hey, I believe this. I believe this is going to happen. I'm going to invest. I'm going to press send. I'm going to work with a team and I'm going to go do it. And, I would encourage any of you guys that are on the fence, keep, stay in Brandon's community because he's leading by example. You're obviously always able to reach out to me, but the bottom line is if you're thinking about investing, do your due diligence, don't rush into the fight. Make sure you have good mentorship. Make sure you know what you're doing. But when it's time to go, you got to go.
Yeah. I love that. I think ground up construction, once it's approved and you're good to go and you have like permits to rock and roll, it is so much better than doing the fix and flips and so forth, and just the natural burr strategy, because you're doing all that anyway. You're doing demo, you're doing electrical, you're doing framing, you're rewiring the house, you're doing new windows. Like we've done all those things. And instead of doing it piece by piece, taking longer, costing more, we can just make everything brand new all at once, get the framer in, knock it all out, get the electrician in, knock it all out while it's open. And it just feels easier. And I love that approach. So just like you said, I'm addicted to it.
Plans and build. You're not opening up new walls. You don't know if there's asbestos. Let's talk about foundations. Let's talk about, crack this, broken that. Let's talk about inspections and just like the budget sometimes. And look, I flipped a lot of houses. The budget sometimes it gets out of control, man. And by the time you're done, you thought you were going to make 150 grand. You made 40. You're like, bro,
what happened? What happened? That sucks. Yeah. Yeah. For real. Jonathan, I appreciate you jumping on today. How can listeners get a hold of you, and what's the future look like for you guys?
Thanks for having me on, brother. I'm on LinkedIn, pretty active there. Jonathan Mitchell, adupals.com. We also have arkhavenbuilt.com, and then Jonathan Mitchell RE on Instagram is where I'm pretty active. For us, man, it's growth, it's abundance, it's a lot of hard work, a lot of long nights and early mornings. But, we love it, dude. I think people can probably feel the energy from you and from me. It's great, dude. I honestly have said I would do this job for free. I don't know for sure if I actually would, but as close as you could get, dude. I love this job, bringing real estate, new assets online, helping people walk through that fear curve. And then I had to walk through it myself, dude.
Come on.
And even abundance, right? It's like sometimes people can get so tight about, oh, this is my relationship, or, this is my lender, or this is my real estate agent, or that's mine. It's like, bro, like we're bringing new online and we're not doing it ourselves. Like there's enough out here for everyone to eat, man. Like let's get after it.
So good. That's so good. I love that. I think when I was first coming up in 2013, trying to jump into real estate, I was experiencing a lot of that. And also, you mentioned about investing in mentors, and there's people that are on this side of it that are used to investing in themselves and understand it. There's a whole nother world out there that people just don't know. They don't know like mentors even exist in it. That was me back then.
Same.
And so it's when you don't know, you don't know. And who's going to tell you?
Forget, and that's why these platforms are really important.
Yes.
Brandon, that's part of what I do too. You asked, but it's important because there are kids out there.
Yep.
He said, I come from humble beginnings, bro. Like, and then mastermind is like, what? Like, I remember thinking that, like, that's crazy. That's like, these people are trying to take over the world. It was just negative connotation with everything. And it's not true, man. There are good and bad out there, but like I said, do your due diligence, find a good one. And, you've got to invest in yourself, man, because these people have done it. They walk through it.
Yeah. It's one of my cheat codes to get to the next level is getting around high level people that have already been there and done it, and that I can learn from. And we always have something that we can add value to them as well. And so I've met my best friends. I've met business partners, made millions with, like, the list goes on. And it's always every big decision that I can look back in life, it's always from the last 10 plus years of me investing into myself. And I love that.
I love it, dude.
I love it. Jonathan, I appreciate you jumping on today. Guys, reach out to him. He is a wealth of knowledge here locally in the San Diego area, constantly giving back, constantly serving you. If you are focusing on investing in yourself, focusing on your mindset, getting into a community, and really focusing on building wealth through ADUs, which is powerful. So reach out to him, wealth of knowledge. If you guys want to get a hold of me, you can always do so on Instagram. It's Brandon Elliott Investments or Credit Counsel Elite. We do have our 3-day 0% capital boot camp coming up tomorrow. We're actually starting our next one, which is going to be epic for 3 days, 3 full days. If you want any information on that, you can find it in our bios. We do it every month, which is excellent. So if you're looking to get up to 500,000 with rates as low as 0% from the power of credit, and being able to get the banks to say yes, a heck of a lot more, up to 90% approval odds, then check out creditcounselelite.com. That's creditcounselelite.com. And yeah, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. Do that right now.
Ring the bell.
Ring it. Come on. Make sure you get the newest reminder every single Monday when the new episode drops, and leave that 5-star review after listening to a few. Love you guys all so much. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you later. God bless. Peace.
This has been been another episode of Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Elliott. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks again for joining.